Hello friends and welcome back to the channel, Junior with a classic VW bug. Today the goal is to remove the body from the floor pan. Before I do that, I'm going to see if I can release the steering column, and while I wait for my buddies to come over here and help me lift the shell off the floor pans, I'm going to also remove the nuts that are holding the struts to the front of the body. So remove the 6 nuts that are holding the struts to the body. We will be removing this bolt right here, those 3, and these 3 nuts. So Frankenstein is a 1971 Super Beetle. Um, you don't have to remove this steering shaft nor the coupler from here to get the shell off the floor pan. Just make sure you remove all of the floor pan bolts, including the ones in the rear, and including the 2 very long bolts attaching the body to the floor pan head. The next thing you want to do is make sure you remove the tie rods from the steering mechanism at the bottom, and that should be pretty much all you have to do to get the shell off the floor pans. So in this clip of the video, I am actually trying to pull the electrical wires that are part of the braking system. Also, if you notice there is the brake fluid reservoir, and there's 2 hoses that are going down to the master cylinder at the bottom that you will have to actually disconnect at some point before you remove the shell. Okay guys, so let me show you what happened here. I disconnected the brake fluid lines right here from the master cylinder, and I still had some um, brake fluid there in its spill. So I had to collect as much as I could with a rag. So always make sure that whenever you're doing this, you empty your brake system as much as you can. That way you won't have any spillage. These are the 2 wire connectors that go to the master cylinder. There is a bent line. There is a bent line that I want to free, which is this one right here. These are the 2 lines that I disconnected from the master cylinder. These are the 2 wires that connect to the master cylinder brake switch. They connect at the bottom in the master cylinder. I opted to remove them from the top because that way when I'll pull the whole body, they will stay at the floor pan. So you can do whatever you wish. Next here, you can see this is the speedo cable. In order to remove the shell, you have to remove the C-clip from right here and pull the wire back, and then you should be fine to lift the shell from the floor pans. But other than that, that's pretty much it. That comes out with it. Okay, it did not have the C-clip in it, so it just pulled out really easily. So I'm going to put this tire back on here. So that's pretty much what I had left to do. Remove those bolts, uh, remove the speedo cable, and also these wires that are part of the electrical system for the brake and the master cylinder, and also the two uh, brake fluid hose connections that go to the master cylinder, which I made a little mess because I did not know I still had some um, brake fluid left in there. So once I remove this here, I'm going to get some degreaser and try to remove as much excess from the concrete and the bottom as possible. You know, sometimes those things happen. I try not to spill any um, harmful chemicals into the environment. But that happened. I'm going to take care of it. All right. So we just wait now. All right, friends. So I'm ready to remove the body from the floor pan. My two bodies got here, and they are going to be the extra set of muscles that I need to remove this. If I raise the jack, those two struts will actually come out and break loose. Okay, so let me show you. You can see how the tire is pivoting in. See that? We're having a really hard time trying to break the seal from the body against the floor pan. So we're going to try to see if we can lift the backside first to see if by lifting the backside, it might help break loose the seal in the front end. Let's see. Okay, do that one more time. Do that one more time. Okay, do that one more time. Yep, it's breaking loose now. Okay, so we had a hard time trying to break the seal. We had to lift the rear end of the car multiple times until we finally broke the seal. But we noticed that the passenger side was not lifting as high as the driver's side. We looked inside to see if I had forgotten to break loose any bolts. Repeated the process a couple of more times and checked the car, from side to side. Finally, I lay down on the floor as well as my other buddy, Rafi, and I come to realize that I forgot to remove one of the bolts from the passenger side, and Rafi noticed that I forgot to remove the two front bolts from the front head that fasten the front end of the shell to the floor pan. And here is where we realized that I forgot to remove the two bolts that support the shell to the front head of the floor pan. So I grabbed my impact drill with a 17 millimeter socket and proceed to remove the two long bolts from the front head to free the body from the floor pan. And here we're cutting the brake lines to release the struts and be able to lift the body of the floor pan. Okay, friends, so today I want to go over a couple of things real quick that happened to me yesterday, which helped me back from being able to complete the removal process of the shell from the floor pan. I missed out removing one bolt. That was the first brain fart that I had. And the second one is that I forgot to remove the two main bolts that go to the front head under the chassis that fasten the front shell to the floor pan. So that's strike number two. And the third issue is the fact that On a Super Beetle like this 71 Super Beetle, part of the steering mechanism is attached to the body. So in order for one to remove the body, we have to detach some of the steering mechanism from the car so that we can go ahead and release the body and okay, so this is what I figure out. I think that if I remove this tie rod here as well as this one right here, I should be able to remove the whole body from the floor. These bolts to get the tire out so that I can have a better visibility to the quarter pin. So I'm gonna put that guy right there. I guess I'll just bring the camera over here so you can see what's going on. So I need to straighten the cotter pin right here so I can extract it, remove this nut from here from the bottom, and hit the tie rod to release this end, and do the same thing on the other side. So whatever I do here, I'm going to do on the other side. So what's happening right now is that cutter pin broke, and I think it's still a little bit spread in the end here. That's what I'm trying to do to see if I can basically narrow it. So there's a little piece that actually came off right there. Let's see what happens next. I may have to just break it right there. It's game on. Okay, so it broke. So this is what I'm going to try to do. Let me see what size is that. It's actually a 19. So let's see if it breaks it. Yep. There she is. So that's out now. That's free now. So we got that one loose. And now we need to do the same on the other side. Once I remove the other one, this should be free, and I should be able to at least lift the front end. If that's the case, then I will have to call my buddy again to come help me get it off the floor pan. So let me go ahead and do the other side now. Remember, whatever you do on this side, you do on the other side. So let's get to it. Okay, so we get that cutter pin out of the way, and now we do this. Hopefully it'll come out. And there she is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and install both tires back onto the floor pan and lower the car to see if I can lift the front end of the shell easily or not. Okay, so okay, so there she is. Okay, friends, so I think that was it right there. So as you can see now, the whole front end, it's completely all the way down, and we can see all the way through. So that's out. So all I got to do now is lift the back end, and it should come out. So this is literally loose, and we're ready to begin the body removal process. Okay, I want to try something. I'm by myself, but I'm going to grab onto the end of this right here and see if I can lift it. So, okay, so that's completely down, and all I got to do now is remove the temp two nuts that I install on the struts to place them back in position so that I could work removing those tie rods. So the minute that I attempt to lift the body by myself, I think that I will be successful at lifting it, but I think that since my two struts are going to collapse to the side, then I don't know that I will be able to lift this by myself. So before I attempt to do that, I'm going to call my buddy to see if he comes to help me with the removal of the shell, so I don't have to do it all by myself. Okay, friends, so unfortunately, I lost the footage of me and my friends removing the top shell off the floor pan. But basically, I had two people in the front end. They grab the body from this side, and they also use the the tie rod as a grabbing point to be able to lift it. And I, in the back, I grabbed the car from this end here and this end, and the three of us were able to grab it from the top of the floor pan and slide it over and set it here on the floor. So my next plan is to build a cart that I can set this body on top of it, so I can slide it around, move it around, and work with it. And then I'm going to take this here and roll it to the back of the house nearby the shed so that I can work on it. If you notice, I took the front bonnet off because it was less weight to carry. I think it was the smartest thing to do. That might not be as heavy, but it still adds weight, and that was less weight that we had to actually lift to get the body off the floor pan. I'm going to tie these tie rods like this so that when I move it around, not worry that they're going to be scraping on the floor. That's one. And second, they won't be tripping hazards for me as I move the body. So, doing the same on the other side here. Same thing here. Just going to tie it through here. This is what we're doing for now. That should be it. And one thing that I did do was that I took these out. And maybe I should just put it back on there so that it just gets covered and protected from the weather inclemency, right? So if I can get at least one bolt to hold it, it should be fine. Let's see. Grab this thing here. Take this like so, and bring it up like this, and let it come down like so. Okay. Okay. So we got that there, and that's it. We're done here. I'm gonna leave it there for now, and then in the next video, I'll just make a wood cart that I can actually put this on top so that I can roll it, back and forth while I restore. So that's going to be it for today. This has been a very intense job today to do this. Not to mention that it is exhausting. The maintenance, cleaning around and all of that. It's a lot of work. Guys, this is not an easy job. We could call it easy, and you might see a video that in 15 minutes we get it done, but that's not like that. We edit the videos to show you the most important things that you should take care of. But if you're ready, and you know exactly what you need to be doing, you can probably tackle it in less time than other people. But if you're learning, just watch the very important details, like where to remove XYZ bolt. So if you're going to remove your Super Beetle body from your 71 or a Super Beetle, remember that once you lose all of the bolts that hold the body to the floor pan, make sure that you break loose the two tie rods that help you steer the car, and then it should come out. But you are still going to need a couple of guys to help you out. So it took 2 guys in the front and me in the back to lift the body off the floor pans and set it aside here. And it was not an easy job. It's lightweight, but because of its shape, it can be heavy, if that makes sense. So you have to make sure you don't hurt yourself. Make sure that in the process you don't get hurt, because the parts for this are replaceable, but your parts and mine are not. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Please keep supporting my channel. Until then, this is Junior with Classic VW Buck. Junior out.